What's going on, JROTC Nation, and welcome to another year of the VEX Robotics Competition. My name is Dylan Caudell. I work for the REC Foundation, and today I'm going to help you get your season kick-started. In this video, we're going to take a look at the new 2022-2023 new game video. We're going to look at a robot build that you can use to get started, learn how to register your teams, and learn about season resources that will help you along the way. Okay, let's dive right into the game. Check out this year's new VEX Robotics Competition spin-up game video.
Welcome to the 2022-2023 VEX Robotics Competition season, and this year's game, VRC Spin-Up. VRC Spin-Up is a head-to-head game that is played by two alliances, one red and one blue, made up of two teams each. The primary game objects in VRC Spin-Up are yellow foam discs. Discs are 140 millimeters in diameter and 20 millimeters thick. There are 60 discs total in a spin-up match, 38 that start on the field, 2 preloads per robot, and 7 match loads per alliance. Discs can be scored in the 2 high goals, 1 per alliance, at opposite corners of the field. Each disc scored in a high goal is worth 5 points. However, robots that are aiming for the high goal had better be accurate, because underneath each high goal is a 1-point low goal for the opposing alliance. In addition to launching discs, robots can also spin the 4 rollers mounted to the field perimeter. Rollers are 250 millimeters long and 60 millimeters in diameter. If the area inside of a roller's pointers only shows one color, then that roller is considered owned by that alliance. Each owned roller is worth 10 points. Each match begins with a 15-second autonomous period, where robots operate without input from their drivers. In addition to competing for the autonomous bonus, each alliance also has the opportunity to earn an additional autonomous win point by owning both rollers on their side of the field and scoring at least 2 discs in their high goal. The 1-minute 45-second driver control period begins once the autonomous bonus winner has been determined. During the driver control period, robots can pick up discs from the ground or receive match load discs through the loader. As the clock winds down, it's time for the end game. At the end of the match, alliances will receive a 3-point bonus for each tile their robots are covering. So, during the last 10 seconds of the match, there are no horizontal expansion limits. VRC Spin-Up can also be played in robot skills challenges where one team competes against the clock, the collegiate level VEX U competition, where teams design 2 robots using advanced materials, and the VEX AI competition, a completely autonomous competition using industry-level machine learning technologies. Plus, there are remote options available for teams who want to compete from home. Check out the game manual or talk to your REC Foundation manager for all the details. Official rules and game information for VRC Spin-Up can be found at roboticseducation.org or vexrobotics.com. To register a team, find events near you, or ask a question on the official Q&A, please visit robotevents.com. Best of luck and have a great season.
As you can tell, there's a lot going on this year, especially towards the end of the match when robots start expanding out, trying to touch all of those tiles. I'm sure questions are going to come up. Please be sure to read this year's game manual found on roboticseducation.org or vexrobotics.com. Okay, so we've seen the game. Let's learn how you compete playing that game. When you attend a competition, there's 2 main ways to compete. First is in game challenge matches. We'll cover that first. In a game challenge match, that's played on 12-foot by 12-foot field, made up of 2 alliances, a red alliance and a blue alliance. So I'm going to make up some team numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, A, 5, 6, 7, 8, B. On the blue alliance, 3, 3, 4, 5, A, and 4, 4, 5, 6, B. These teams are not from the same school. Each team builds 1 robot. So the number 1 question I get is how many robots do I build for each of my teams? 1 team builds 1 robot. So these teams are randomly paired up. I'll cover more of that in the next video when we talk about tournament day. But this is 4 individual teams competing in a game challenge match. The second way to compete is called robot skills. This is broken into 2 parts. That's where you still compete in the same field, but the layout may be varied, so be sure to check the skills appendix in the game manual. And it's broken into two sections, as you can see here. Driver skills, where it's just your team, your one robot, in the field by itself for 1 minute to say, all right, 3, 2, 1, go. How many points can you score driving the robot? Same concept, but with programming. Okay, now it's your robot. You get up to 3 attempts. 3, 2, 1, go. How many points can you score in a programming attempt? These points are added up throughout the day. So if you get 3 driver, let's say for driver, you score 1 point, 5 points, and 2 points. And for programming, you score 0 points your first run, you scored 10 points your second run, and then you try it again and you scored 0 points the last time. Well, your highest scores was 10 and 5. So those would be added together to give you your robot skill score of 15 for the day. This is important because not just at that competition, but later on, we'll talk about the global skills ranking, and that's how you get your score for the robot skills score on the global skills ranking. Okay, so we talked about how to compete. Let's talk about where to compete. As a JROTC team, you have 3 different ways that you can compete, or 3 different places. First is at regular VEX Robotics Competition events that accept high school teams. Since JROTC is high school students, if you're a high school team, you can join a VEX Robotics Competition and compete as any other high school team would. You also have the added benefit of being able to attend JROTC Invitationals. These are just JROTC only events, same game, same rules, same awards, same structure, except it may differ on what they qualify to. For example, a JROTC Invitational may qualify directly to the JROTC National Championship versus the State Championship. It's different in every region. Please reach out to me or your local team engagement manager for questions. The third and final way is called live remote skills. Live remote skills is a unique way to compete for JROTC teams that are remote, don't have access to a lot of in-person competitions, or just want to get some practice and add to their global robot skills score. So if you have a competition field, you have game elements, and you have a web camera, you can compete in live remote skills. You set up your field, you set up your game elements, you set up your web camera, and you would do your same skills run in front of a referee like myself, and we would check out your scores, submit them into the system, and they would go into the global skills list. All right, so we've taken a look at how to compete, we've taken a look at where to compete. Now let's talk about season resources. So this big QR code you see in the middle of your screen, this is the JROTC team registration form. If you're trying to get your teams registered, please fill this out. This will give me all the information I need to help you. And I can take a look to see if you're an Army team, if there's registration money available. Most brigades there are, but not all of them. So check it out. This is the form. There's a link over here to it as well, tinyurl.com/JROTC23. They both go to the same place. But fill this form out. It'll give me the information I need to help you out. All right. Additionally, we're going to explore robotevents.com and roboticseducation.org. So let's dive into it. Okay, so this is robotevents.com. This is where you're going to find the global skills list. This is where you're going to register your teams, find local competitions, and see other teams in your area. So if you don't have an account, please click register to create an account. In my case, I already have an account, so I'm just going to click login. Once you're logged in, if you've registered teams before, you'll see an option to renew your teams. If you've never registered any teams, you'll just have this green button here that says register a team. So we're going to click register a team. It's going to ask which program you want to register for. JROTC is only in the VEX Robotics Competition, so that's what we're going to choose. I have a team. I've had a team in the past that I previously registered, so it's going to ask if I want to add to this team here or register a new team. It's going to clarify, which we'll talk about in a second, how team numbers work. But I'm pretending I'm a school that's never had a team before or a JROTC program. So I'm going to go through the wizard so you can see what it looks like. Okay, first and foremost, it asks about address. So I'm going to put in the RET Foundation's address here. It's going to ask what kind of program you are. You should be associated with a school. If you are, type in your school here, and they'll start to pop up from the list. So I'll just choose the Greenville High School. Next, it's going to take you to the team information. This is where a lot of people get stuck, but I want to explain it to you. So the team number, your team number that goes with your program, that number will stay the same year after year. So look at it as a team number is assigned to a school or an organization, and the letter, which you can choose from this drop down here, indicates which team is at that school. So for example, I'm going to hit the little refresh button here. It's going to give me a team number. So my first team could be Team A, Team B, so on and so forth. So if I have multiple teams, I'm going to have the same team number, in this case 72253A, 72253B, so on and so forth. So all of your team shirts and memorabilia and your robots will have that same number on it, but the letter will be different for each team. If you have any questions about this, please reach out to me and let me know. So I'm just going to choose this number here. You can try to request a number. If you have a number in mind that you want, you can type in, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to tell me right here that number is already taken. So I can't use that number, so I can hit the refresh button. It's going to give me a number that isn't taken, and I can choose the letter I want. I'm going to go with Charlie. Let's go with Bravo. Again, the letter doesn't matter. It's going to ask what grade level you are. Have you competed before? This section over here, the team affiliations, this is really important. This is going to determine if you are allowed to compete in those JROTC only events, including the national championship. So whatever Air Force or JROTC program you are, please indicate that here. I'm just going to say I'm a Space Force program. If you have a sponsor, list it here. Any special needs for your team, and again, you can adjust this later if you need to. Emergency contact information, day of. Whoops. Clear that out. Other programs, have you participated in any of these other programs? VEX Robotics Competition, Project Lead the Way, so forth. Or if you've participated in none, you can click none. And then these documents here, please take a moment to read through them before you agree to all the terms and conditions. They're saying that you read each document. And then click next. This is going to be a contact detail information. So here it's going to ask for my primary contact. So if you're the main coach of the team, this is where you put that information. Financial contact, if you have a treasurer or somebody that helps you register for events, dealing with paying for the national championship, so forth, you can list them here, or you can just put yourself. It's just bigger school districts have multiple contacts, so this gives you an option to put it in there. You can add a secondary contact and invite somebody to help manage the team. So if you have an assistant coach or an assistant instructor, you can put their information in here. Verify everybody's at least 18 years or older. And the last page here is the team profile. So if you have a student that wants to run a website for you or run social media platforms, a YouTube channel, talk about your robot reveals and so forth, this is where you can list all that information. The only thing required on this page is a team name. And you'll see when we look at the skills list, you'll see programs, team names, and you'll see their robot names. So you can put whatever you want in here. It can be adjusted later. You can contact me or your team engagement manager, and we can adjust this for you. So if you don't know, I would just put something generic like JROTC Bravo. Or we'll do Alpha. I think I did Alpha. Can't remember which letter I did. We'll do Alpha. And then for a robot name, you can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to say Robot 1. If you have a second team at your program, you're going to field 2, 3, 4 teams this year. You just click add another team, and then you can add a second team. I'm going to click finish. And so now I'm going to add that team into my cart. So here's my cart. I'm going to begin checkout. I'm going to insert my billing information here, JROTC. At the REC Foundations, this is all just sample information. Same for shipping information. Click next. Okay, now it's going to ask about shipping. When you register a team, you get a game object to practice with. You get an engineering design notebook, and you get a set of license plates that have to be displayed on your robot when you go and compete. So those license plates can be used year after year, but you still get a new kit because sometimes they get lost or broken. So each year you'll get, with your first team, a license plate kit for your season. Okay, so I'm going to say I just want free shipping, continue to payment. Now, if you are an Army team and we've talked before about, hey, I have funding to pay for your order, then in here, you're just, as a payment method, you're going to choose pay later. If your school's paying for it or your headquarters, JROTC headquarters is paying for it, then you can select whatever option you want here to pay, purchase order, check, credit card, etc. If you have any issues with this, please, again, reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you through it. So I'm just going to mark pay later and complete checkout. Upon doing this, you'll get an email about the order number. You'll get an invitation to manage the team. And now you're going to see right here is your order number. Your order number, your team number is down here. It'll also show up in your account. But this order number, this is what's requested back on this JROTC registration form. This will help me find your information, help you find your account. So you can enter it here or you could enter your team number. Either one is super helpful so I can help find your information. Okay, and the last website I want to take a look at is roboticseducation.org. We have a new platform this year called REC Library, and this is an amazing resource, especially for new programs. So I can say I want to enter the library, I want to look at team information. JROTC again is doing the VEX Robotics Competition, or VRC, which uses the V5 platform. So I'm going to click that. And there's a bunch of information in here that's good for all VEX Robotics Competition teams, but there is a section dedicated just to JROTC. So you can click that, read through the introduction, watch this year's hype video. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. Here are some just quick links, how to register a team. So a document that goes step by step of what I just showed you. Starting a team, information you may be curious about on how to start up a team. Educator certifications for the instructors. These are free. And robot builds. So before I click on the robot builds, there's also a Q&A here of the most common questions that I get. So you can read through here. There's some different links to other documents. But the top thing I get asked about robot builds is, hey, what do we start? What do we do? If you bought a kit, it probably came with ClawBot instructions. But on top of the ClawBot, VEX does a new robot build each year. So this year there's a robot called Disco. You can build this robot. It'll get you started playing the game. So you can go to your first early competition with this robot, score some points. Of course, this isn't going to be your brigade or state or regional championship robot because it's just to get the students started. And if everybody has the same robot, then nobody's going to kind of jump ahead. So this robot will help them get started, go to a competition, see a lot of other designs out there. And now your students can look at, okay, how do we make it score more points? How do we make it faster? How do we make it better? Whatever that is, they can start going through the engineering design process. This is a great place to start if you need somewhere to start. And there's some different resources here under the build instructions, including some coding articles. Okay, let's wrap things back up in the presentation. Here is my contact information. Again, my name is Dylan Caudell. My phone number is there and my email address is listed there. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Good luck this season, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks.